You know, my dad used to have this saying. He would say, time waits for no man. But in this particular situation, it's true on a whole nother level. Because Americans, you've been warned. The sleeper cells are in America waiting for the announcement. The FBI has released the alert. But now, Russia and China are kind of involved in this thing. America says they just found out that Russia and China have been giving a level of intelligence and weaponry to Iran so that Iran can strike 14 countries in the Middle East, mainly their military bases. But that's not it. They've also launched a fresh set of airstrikes in Dubai, hitting the Dubai airport. Now, I've been following this story closely with Qatar, with Dubai, with the Americans that are trapped there. Some have fled on foot and on taxis. Some have not. A lot have not. If you didn't have like a lot of money to get a flight out of there, then you were not going anywhere. I know a sister, she's an entrepreneur, she's in finance, and she flew out of there to the United Kingdom. Some people don't want to fly to Europe. They want to fly directly to America so that they can make it home. But this thing is heating up to a level of no return, and we are only on day 8. Trump says that he is not crossing out the possibility of troops on the ground. And you may think Iran would be like, okay, well, let's call a ceasefire, let's calm down, let's whatever. A lot of Americans think that countries around the world are so afraid of President Donald Trump and the American military, but let me just tell you right now, Iran is not doing that. They're saying we are ready for troops on the ground because Iran knows something that the masses don't know. See, if you didn't look at the geography of Iran, similar to Jerusalem, Iran is surrounded by mountainous, desertous terrain. And I'm fearful that the American troops may not be able to penetrate that, like maybe when they were at their height in World War II. Because let's be honest, these last few wars America's been in, she didn't necessarily win. The troops just pull out. They fight these fights for 10, 20 years, and then eventually the troops pull out. And so if that's the case, we're at the very beginning of the greatest depression that the modern world has ever seen. This is why I bought oil, USCO, the United States Oil. This is why I bought Chevron, is it called? Chev something oil, Chevron oil. And they're up in the market. They're exploding right now because everybody knows once Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz, it was a wrap. That was it. The oil prices are going to be so astronomically high, but at least you can purchase some oil so they can buffer those costs so that your portfolio goes up. Then you'll still be able to buy oil. See, this is how finance and investing works. But I'm also afraid for you as an American. If you are both in the Middle East and America, I'm afraid for you. If you're in Europe as an American, I'm afraid for you. Because listen, Americans are going to become target practice. The collateral damage. President Donald Trump has sent another warning. If you're not listening to some of his press talks, you don't have to listen like for an hour or whatever. You can listen to some of the parts if you want. If your attention span does not span that long, it's okay, it's all right. But he expressed for the second time, if not the third, that American troops will die. The Europeans are citing that America is lying to Americans and that thousands of Americans have already died. Thousands of Iranians have already died. But Europeans are coming out because the Europeans are not with America the way they used to be, France and Spain. They're saying this war that you're trying to do in Iran or that you're already doing, they're not trying, they're doing it. They're executing this plan. This war that you're already doing is going to cause chaos throughout the entire globe. And you just wonder what that means for America. You just wonder what that means for its citizens, because if President Donald Trump sends those troops on the ground to Iran, what is Iran going to do? Are they going to send the troops back on the ground to America? And what does that look like? Let's be real. Most Americans are armed if they're in America. Americans in America are a very different type of people than other people across the world. I'm well traveled, have lived out of America for 6 years. Americans are very hot-headed people compared to other people across the globe. You look at an American the wrong way, they're mad at you. Americans are always ready to fight, whether it's a city person or a country person, whether it's a suburban area or literally cornfields with the good old boys. They are ready to fight, sometimes for different reasons, but nonetheless, they prepare with artillery. Regular citizens prepare with artillery. In Europe, they don't do that. In Asia, they don't do that. In Africa, they don't do that. In Australia, I'm not so sure. They may do it in Australia, okay? I should say they do it in the United Kingdom as well, but there's particular places they don't do that as much. South America, not sure. Somebody will have to chime in and let me know. But knowing that American people are like that, this would be a very bloody war. Not, because Iran wouldn't just have to fight the American military that's in America. They would fight the people. And Iran, shockingly, has about the same amount of military soldiers that America does. I did not know this till I watched a documentary comparing side by side. There are some ways that America's machinery and artillery is more abundant than Iran, but in military troops and reserves, they're at about the same level, a 360,000 versus 430,000. So with the right strategy, the American side of the military can be taken out quite fast. Now, with all this military talk, let's pause for a moment and go to our sponsor, which is the AI Infrastructure Workshop. It's being taught by an entrepreneur who has been in business for 10 years as of April, getting her clients 31.9 million collectively in revenue to date. In the AI Revenue Infrastructure Workshop, 3 entrepreneurs under 5 years in business, so they can be brand new or just under 5 years, are going to get access to the dashboards that she uses to grow client accounts. Think email marketing, retention systems, project management, using Notion AI, ConvertKit, Limlist, and a couple of other tools. This automation itself is what clients pay anywhere from $1,600 to $3,000 just for installation and then a monthly maintenance fee. If you have been laid off or if you want to bring in an extra $1,000 per month or so, this is the right workshop that gives you access to the internal dashboards and documentations that high-level marketing agencies use. And this person that I'm talking about, well, it's me. Visit www.tiffygwrites.ai or check out the link in the description after reading the website, because the description has the direct link to sign up. March 22nd, 7 a.m. Eastern. We're getting right to it early in the morning. That's the best way to do things, to give you access to the systems that I've been using for my clients behind the scenes. Again, check out the link in the description, tap it. Only 3 spots are available. But a lot of Americans are wondering right now, is it too late for me to flee America? And it's not. It's not too late. As long as there are regions that are safe in the world and planes are still going up in the sky, it's not too late. Granted, millionaires are leaving Dubai. I saw a video, a lady, she's been in Dubai 12 years. She said, I hate to leave Dubai, but I have to because I have to get to safety. Millionaires are leaving Qatar. Qatar is also being bombed. Dubai's president, and I believe the Qatari president, they have come out and said, we are at all-out war. They didn't announce this previously. They just said, okay, we're trying to figure out what's going on. But they have expressed, we are in all-out war. So you may see that Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and Abu Dhabi together, and then a Qatari military force would join American and Israeli forces because they're feeling closer in allyship to America, but they're also thinking of divesting from America because the tension they're getting from the other Gulf states like Iran. Because if people don't know, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and the United States economies are very, very closely intertwined. They've been getting more and more intertwined in the last 5 to 10 years. Some through AI data centers, technology, tourism. They're backing each other very closely. And then Saudi Arabia invests in land in America. They purchase land out in Utah and Arizona behind the scenes that people don't necessarily understand. Iran's posture is, hey, I want to stop this. Iran is being so strategic because for them it's not just army military fighting type of warfare. The warfare is also economical because you close the Strait of Hormuz. China's the only one that can get through the Strait of Hormuz. I'm not even sure Russia can get through. China's the only place, so they can still send their shipments to Africa if they like and still send whatever they want to the continent, but nobody else can get through the Strait of Hormuz because Iran is the holder of the Strait of Hormuz, okay? So that's that. They occupy that area. And so the rest of the world would have to go all the way down across under South Africa the way they did in old times, which of course takes super, super long. This is why oil prices are shooting up like that. Iran understands the economical implications of this for the entire world. So that puts pressure on not only the US, but Europe, France, Spain, these people who are coming out saying we don't agree. It puts pressure on them saying, okay, if we don't have oil, because Europe already just doesn't have many resources. They don't have people resources because humanity is dying out in those areas. They don't have energy resources. They don't have gas resources. They don't have AI resources. Europe is really at a deficit where Europe really gets the brunt bad end of collateral damage from this war, even though Europe feels like they're not the main ones to start the war, especially France and Spain. That's why they're so adamant, coming out loud and making it clear, like, Iran, we're not part of this. You can still allow us to get oil and allow us hopefully to do something. But the United Kingdom is on the side of America. I suspect that they will be on the side of America till the very end, or at least until the breaking point where the United Kingdom is like, look, this is costing the world too much, because we will reach that point where the nations wake up and say, this is just costing planet Earth way too much. We don't want to do this anymore with you, Israel and America. Even though America, they say, is leading the way and Israel is just kind of following along. That's what President Trump said, because people are saying that he's a puppet for Israel, but he fought back and he said, no, I'm not. Actually, I'm the one leading Israel. So I don't know. Y'all leave a comment down below. Is Trump leading Israel to this? I don't know. I don't think so, but hey, maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe Trump is leading Netanyahu to do these things, okay? Which, again, doesn't look good for America either, because America's way over there, and it's Israel, Iran right there, okay? So if Iran were to escalate, and they undoubtedly will, because America's already escalating, sending more airstrikes into Iran, Israel's escalating, then they would send those airstrikes right back over that border to Israel. Israel has already been penetrated by airstrikes. The dome is not holding up the way it used to in the very beginning days of this war. So there are systems where they would send one in, then they shoot one. Some of them are getting in. And some of the cities in Israel are on fire. They're not documenting this. This is why I go on Threads. This is why it's good to go on Twitter, to go on other platforms, because the mainstream media is not being truthful. And in times of war, is the mainstream media really ever truthful? Let's just look back at history. And so my question for you, or I should say my statement for you, is that I don't want you to feel like you're trapped. If you were in South America, or you were in the Americas and you wanted to go to South America, look up Paraguay. Look up Paraguay. They have great residence programs, great tax regimes, and they are some of the safest countries you could be in. Because here's the other thing people don't plan for. It's great to leave America, but if you're going somewhere that's just as dangerous or even more dangerous, in times of war, that presents an issue, because in war times, people lose money, the average person gets poorer. And so if the criminal rate is already pretty high, the criminality is already off the charts in times of war, it's just going to exceed, okay? So that's why you want to go to safe havens, Paraguay or Uruguay. Those are the only ones I'd be in the Americas, to be quite honest with you. Then in Africa, Southern Africa, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, Madagascar, Mauritius. Those are the only ones I'd be in. Rwanda, the only places that I would be in. Then Oceania. Oceania is a great place because it's parallel with how far down we are. Just look at the map, how far down we are in the earth right now. my family and I, we're pretty far down here. We've seen an increase in expatriates, retirees, entrepreneurs, everybody coming down just in the last 2 months. Somebody else signed up for our mature adult intensive just 3 hours ago. People are like, okay, I'm ready. It's time. Because they understand, hey, maybe I'll sell my house and put that money into the oil. Maybe I'll sell my house, put that money into the gold. Diversify it a little bit while this war goes on so that I can learn to be flexible, because part of what's happening is that you're going to also have to be flexible and be somewhat of a backpacker in knowing how to maneuver, knowing where to invest, knowing what to do in the end times, because there will arise out of this people who were not impacted to the extent that others were impacted, and they're going to be running the businesses, they're going to be running the enterprises, they're going to be wealthier because they invested on time, and that's just what it is. But Americans, understand that these times are scary, that these times are detrimental, and that your next move unmistakably must be your best move. Some people are pretending that everything's okay, but Dubai is saying, hey, they struck our airport again. It's not okay. It's not okay. Qatar, not okay. Dubai was saying that, or people were saying the influencers in Dubai are getting paid to tell people it's okay. Meanwhile, they're hearing bombs and airstrikes and the airport's on fire. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Is it too late? I believe it's not too late, but I'm one that has a great level of faith and endurance and a level of joy and determination to accomplish anything that I set out to. And so I don't think it's too late. I think you can strategize and you can get going if you get started now, like today after this video. Shalom, shalom. I'll see you in the next video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.